Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coin Explorer. Have you ever gotten a quarter in your change, turn it over, and your heart skipped a beat? You see a date before 1970, and you think, could it be? Is this a rare silver coin? Is this my lucky day? Well, if that date is 1965, I'm here to answer that question for you, once and for all. The 1965 Washington quarter is one of the most misunderstood coins in American pocket change. It's a coin that sits right on the edge of a massive monetary revolution. So, is it a hidden treasure, or just another 25 cents? To understand the 1965 quarter, we have to go back in time. For decades, our dimes, quarters, and half dollars were made of 90% silver. That was real, intrinsic value you were jingling in your pocket. But in the early 1960s, a perfect storm was brewing. The price of silver was skyrocketing. Industrial demand was up, and suddenly, the melt value of a silver quarter was threatening to become worth more than 25 cents. People started hoarding silver coins, pulling them out of circulation. The mint was facing a crisis. They were literally making coins that were disappearing as fast as they could make them. So, on July 23, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Coinage Act. This law changed everything. It removed silver from our dimes and quarters, effective immediately. The new composition? A clad metal sandwich. That's right. From 1965 onward, the quarter became a coin with a pure copper core, clad in an outer layer of a copper-nickel alloy. No more silver. The era of circulating silver coinage was over. So, here's the 1965 quarter. The most important thing to know, there are no regular circulation 1965 quarters made of silver, none. Zip. Nada. If you find one in your change, it is a copper-nickel clad coin. Because the law was signed in July of 1965, many people assumed that some quarters minted earlier in 1965 must contain silver. This is false. The mint planned for this change. To prevent hoarding of the loss. Clad coin. Alright, let's get to the question you all clicked for. What is a circulated 1965 quarter actually worth? Over 1.8 billion 1965 quarters were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and another 1.3 billion in Denver, D mint mark. With over 3 billion coins made, it is one of the most common dates you can find. In worn, circulated condition, it has no numismatic premium. It's worth exactly what it says on the tin. First up is condition. While a worn 1965 quarter is face value, an uncirculated one is a different story. A coin that was saved in a bank roll or a collection right from the start, still in its original mint state, can have a small premium. Now, we're not talking about retirement money here, but $5 to $20 for a coin that most people think is worthless. That's not bad. The key is that it has to be truly pristine, with its original mint luster and no contact marks. This is where things get exciting. The 1965 quarter is famous for a couple of major error types that can be worth a small fortune. Remember how I said there are no silver 1965 quarters? Well, that's almost true. In the chaos of the transition, it is believed that a few silver planchets, the blank discs, from 1964 got stuck in the bins and were accidentally fed into the presses, striking 1965 dated coins. These are incredibly rare. We're talking a handful known to exist. If you have one, how do you know? The weight. A clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. And the edge, a silver quarter has a solid silver stripe, not the copper-brown sandwich line. A genuine 1965 silver quarter. In good condition, that's a 5-figure coin, easily worth $7,000 to $15,000 or more. This happens when the coin blank isn't seated properly in the press, and the design is stamped off-center. The value depends on how far off it is. A 5% off-center might be worth $20. But a 50% off-center 1965 quarter. That could be worth $100 to $300 to an error coin collector. Other errors like BROA. Here's what you do: look at the edge of the coin. Do you see a bold, copper-brown line in the middle? It's a common clad coin. Is it a solid, uniform silver color? Stop everything, you might have something incredible. This is the most definitive test for the silver era. A precise scale is cheap on Amazon. If your 1965 quarter weighs 6.25 grams, you have hit the jackpot. Look for anything weird. Is the design misaligned? Is the rim missing on one side? Are there doubling in the letters? Any of these could mean extra value. So, to recap, the 1965 Washington quarter is a piece of history, marking the end of an era. In circulated condition, it's almost always worth just 25 cents. But, it's a fantastic reminder to always check your change, look for uncirculated examples with full luster. And most importantly, be on the lookout for those legendary errors, especially the ultra-rare silver planchet mistake. You never know. That's all for today. I hope this cleared up the mystery of the 1965 quarter. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next coin adventure, and now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a cool error coin? What year do you always check for? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.